What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here, and tonight we are going to talk about how DJ has gotten a couple jobs here just this week. One got made about $1,000 an hour, and another one how he did $2,000 in an hour. And I'm going to talk about how he was able to get those jobs. But I want to talk first about his beginnings and his start and how he has grown his business and how he has changed his mindset to be able to get these jobs. Because if he would have got this opportunity to get these jobs a few years ago, he would have never bid that as much as he did. And so that is what we are going to hit on today as we are talking about this of growing a pressure washing business. In 2024, can you still grow a pressure washing business? Absolutely. And this is something else I'm going to talk about too of, this typically can be the slow time, which it has been the slow time for him. And so that is something that, we'll talk about how you really want to push for these commercial jobs so that way it kind of gets you through the summertime and get you back into when the summer building is not out there again, right? And so that is what we want to talk about today. That's what I'm going to talk about. And yes, I can show you, yes, he's done it. And yes, you can do it too. And so, I just posted a post on Facebook earlier today about saying now you are awesome. And you are awesome, and that's the thing, that you are awesome and you can do amazing things, and it is a learning process and you can get through this. And so that's what I'm going to hit on. That's what I'm going to talk about. And I see you put finally made a live. If you want to know when I go live and get the text when I for going live, that is not it. You can text the word. That is supposed to be it, but that is not it. And I had it up there earlier. Well, let me see if I can find it here. You can text the word. I don't even remember what the text word is. You can text the word King, K-I-N-G, to 859-696-1101. I send a text out before I go live every Sunday night and sometimes Wednesday night. So Wednesday night is my Christmas light night, but if it's a marketing or a sales one, I will do both. So that is how you can make sure you get signed up. So being that you are awesome, and I've been thinking about this a lot. This is something that and I see Gregory's on here, and he's been talking about this a lot too, because he's another one that, I posted a picture of his truck that I had seen at the gas station in October of 2016. It was just a little soft wash system and a 2.2 pressure washing, and he has grown. And, if you would have told him 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever 2016 was, he would be where he is today, he would have probably laughed at you, right? Because, he's got ADD, he's got all of these things. DJ, he's done more than he did last year. Again, when he started his pressure washing business, he would have probably told you he would have never be at where he's at, because you've always had these doubts and these things that are coming to you. And so as you believe in yourself, as you see what you can do, you are amazing, you are awesome, and you can do great things. And so that's why I'm really pushing this book here, is Think and Grow Rich, right? If you don't have a vision, if you don't see it, if you can't believe it, there's no way you're going to achieve it. And so you really got to, this book here, I'd highly recommend you to read it. Don't just read it once. If you've read it once, read it again, read it again, read it again. And I promise you, I know people that read this every day, because it has so much information in it that you will see, that you will start visualizing, and you can start seeing yourself, that you can start believing. And when you see it and believe it, you can make things happen. And so that is what is cool about this here. And that is what I want to hit on also tonight. So I always like to shout out to who's on the live. We got Bearded Soft Wash. We got Mr. David Watts, Let's Grow Together. F-Bomb, what's up? Doing a $900 roof at the end of the month, which is awesome. Finally made it to the live. Again, if you want to know when I go live, you can text the word King, K-I-N-G, 859-696-1101. And you can be like whoever it is there now said, please quit texting me. If you're going to send that to me, then don't text it to me in the beginning, because all that does is hurt me anyway. At least he's going to be nice to do that, and I will remove him instead of hitting 0, which hurts me. So don't, if you're not going to want to hear from me and get my text once a week, don't sign up. But if you do want to hear from me and you do want to grow your business and you do want to be successful and you do want to be able to get to where you want to be at, you better do that so you know when I'm going live. What's up from Texas? Again, we got Benjamin Gregory. Just got a message from one of the top realtors in the area. Could be big. You know, networking is definitely king. Networking is definitely awesome. What's up, Mr. TCs? How are you doing? F-Bomb, what's up? 2017, I started with a 3-gallon a minute and a small pickup truck. Good to see you from Atlanta. Mr. Andrew Jenkins, how are you doing? He's a gas station king right there. I need to bring him on. Actually, I've been working on how to set up a series so when people sign, I can get you to come on. It makes it easier on me instead of me forgetting, and because I do forget that sometimes, but I need to have you on because you're the gas station king. Hit up the thumbs up, guys. What's the book of the month? The book of the month, again, is Think and Grow Rich. Is the book of the week, book of the month, whatever you want to call it. If you read it, I'd say read it again. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. And so I'm on 75 hard. I don't even know what day I'm on. I'm getting close to being at 70. I'm probably at like 60 some days. I'm excited. I've kept to everything. My diet wasn't probably as strict as I should have been, but it is what it is. And so I'm excited that I just finished my second book. Yes, that is true. I've just finished my third book that I've read all the way through, and this was a pretty big book. It's called Mental Toughness by Andy Frisella. And so it is awesome to see that I was able to do this, and it's back to how do you eat an elephant is by consistency, right? Bite by bite, and 10 pages at a time. That book was pretty thick, and so I'm on to another book that I'm starting to read now. Now I have a big truck and $50,000 in. Hello, Jose. All right. So let's get this party started. Again, if you didn't know, this is brought to you by King of Pressure Wash. If you want to learn how to grow your pressure washing business, go check it out. Every Monday night, we do a Monday night marketing live call. There's about anywhere from 20 to 40 awesome people in there growing their business. Originally, I started this to kind of get it for the new people to ask for regular questions. Now it's kind of become a mastermind of people that are anywhere from just starting out to almost $1 million and everywhere in between. And there's a lot of people that show up week after week. So let's talk about DJ when he first started his pressure washing business. So DJ is a great friend of mine. He is my best friend. I talk to him. I call him every day. We're going to probably start a permanent lighting business together. We're going to actually be doing it tomorrow. Well, one of our first jobs. And so DJ reached out to me when I was still in business, and I didn't say nothing back to him. I just kind of ignored it. And so this was around 2017, 2018. And finally, DJ had consistency, and he reached out to me again, and I decided to eat breakfast with him. And from there, we kicked off, and we've been best friends pretty much ever since. I help him build rigs. He helps me build rigs. I help him do his marketing. He helps me do videos, and he helps me do everything. So if you've been to a class, you've probably seen DJ. You've probably seen him in my videos. And so DJ is one that he is, and I do make fun of him, and I probably shouldn't. It's more of I do it, but I don't need to do it. I need to be better about speaking positive into him. And, I make fun of him a lot, and I do it in the videos, and and that, but he also gives the crap back to me. And so DJ is one that, he struggled in school. He has dyslexia. He has, he's not like this really smart dude by book smart. Now, he is smart, as in he is able to do stuff with his hands. He's able to work with his hands. He's able to get stuff done that way. And so DJ is awesome at, helping me build rigs. He's awesome at doing those things that help me and help you all keep growing your business. So when DJ first started his pressure washing business, DJ was charging $149 for a house wash. Yes, $149, $150. That's where he was starting to do his pressure washing business. And he was struggling on how to get more business. Well, when you're charging $150, you can't pay for marketing, you can't pay for yard signs, you can't pay for any of that stuff, right? When you're cheap, and you can't scale because you're cheap. And a lot of reason why he was cheap is he did not believe in himself. He had a mental block. He was told that he was stupid when he was younger. He was told that he was no good. And so he had this mental block that he wasn't worth $150 for a house wash. Now, this is when he had just a little 4 gallon a minute on a little trailer and a 250 gallon tank. And that is how he got started. So I started working with him, and we started working together, and we got his prices up. Now, for him to do a house wash, he's at $400 just to do a house wash right now. So if you want him to come do a basic house wash, that's $400 for you to come and do this for a house wash. And so if that is the thing that he did to be able to get to where he's at. So how did he get to a $2,000 job? So I'm going to talk about his first $1,000 an hour job that myself and Chip went to this past week. And he did have to rent a lift. He probably didn't need to rent a lift, but there was a water tower company that did a water tower. They put crap on this house, and so he had to go wash it off. And so he charged like $3,000 to do this house. And so it took us 3 hours. And that was us not being fast at all. And who's trying to call me while I'm on here? Jose Rodriguez. I'm on live. All right. So these are things that you have to look at for you to keep moving your business, right? And so as you're doing this is something that he was able to get this job. Now, how did he get this job? Because he's been working on his SEO. He's been working on his Facebook. He posts every day on his Facebook. He posts every day on his Google My Business. And he's been consistent. And he's been consistent for the last 2 to 3 years. And when you are consistent, things grow. If you think you're just going to go out there and put out 100 yard signs and think that you're going to get a bunch of business, you're wrong. It's not going to happen. Most likely. I'm not going to say that you're not going to get work, but I'm not going to say that you got to be consistent. In whatever you do, you got to be consistent. So he's been working his Facebook, he's been working his SEO, and by doing this, he has came up in the ranking, and that is how he's getting jobs, or he's getting jobs through referrals, right? Because you start building that relationships. So that is how he was able to get a $3,000 job that took us 3 hours that probably we could have got done faster. We was not working very hard at all, and we were talking a lot. We were waiting on water, and we used a lift that we didn't need to. It did make it a little bit easier. It makes great pictures, but that is how you're able to ask for it. Now, do you just got to, when you ask for these prices, it's not about, well, I can, you just got to tell them, and that's the way it is. So how did he get to do a $2,000 an hour job? So how he was able to get to a $2,000 an hour job is he had a company and he has hot water. So that is something that a lot of the competitors around here doesn't have. He's only one of few that has hot water. And there was a grease spill up. Well, he's also been working on his SEO for commercial work. And so they called him and for an emergency cleanup of this big oil spot. And so he didn't know how big it was. And they're like, well, just give me the price, the worst price scenario. So he was like, it could be 2,000 square feet. It could be 6,000 square feet. It could be 10,000 square feet. So he bid the job at $6,000 and ended up taking him 3 hours. So this is how you're able, especially on these emergency cleanups, this is how you're able to get that $1,000 to $2,000 an hour. Now, it doesn't happen every day. Don't think that he's getting that every day, but it can happen to you, right? These are things that you can do to be able to believe in yourself. Don't go out there and be like, well, I don't, just go out there and make it happen. And that's how you're able to do this. It's nothing special about DJ. In fact, as I said, he's special in a different way. But he is doing the things that he needs to do to keep growing his business. Because when you are able to get jobs like this, you will find out that you will be able to spend more money in marketing. You can put money in ads. You can put money in yard signs. You can do this. And here's the thing about DJ. DJ knows that yard signs work, right? But he's not consistent on it. He had a guy that he was paying, every week that they were putting out signs, and then he gave up. And then he don't like putting out signs because he don't like to be seen and don't like to go out and put out yard signs. And so as you're growing, you got to do hard things. In this business, there's nothing easy about this business. There's risk that you got to take. There's, there should be controlled risk, but that grease job, he didn't know what he was getting into. And so that's why there's risk that can happen. You might have to rent a lift. Does the lift go and tear up the sidewalk? I know somebody on this live that the lift tore up the sidewalk, right? And so these are things that as you're growing your business, that's why you got to charge what you charge. Because if you got to fix the sidewalk, you can't fix the sidewalk if you're cheap, right? And a lot of times when you're cheap doesn't mean you're always going to get the bid. The guy that broke the sidewalk actually was $75,000 higher than the next competitors. And so just because you're cheap doesn't mean that you got in. The reason why a lot of you are cheap is because you don't believe in yourself. You can make $300 an hour doing pressure washing. I see it every day. Now, you might say, well, right now I'm slow. Well, I want to tell you something. Everybody's slow. If you didn't do your due diligence in February, March, April, May, and go after commercial work when you're super busy doing residential work, then come June, July, and August, you're probably slow. That's just the way the season works. If you're relying on residential to get you through June, July, and August, it's probably not going to happen because in June, July, and August, people go on vacation and they run out of money and they don't have no money to spend on their house. And so this is why we got to push all our commercial work to there. Maybe you do decks. If you do a lot of deck staining, that's a great time to do that in the June, July, and August. The other reason why it's good to do it in June, July, and August, it usually doesn't rain in June, July, and August. So that's a great time to do it. Or maybe you do whatever you do that isn't just pressure washing, that you push for that June, July, and August. And how do you get this commercial work? You got to be consistent. Consistency is key. I don't care what you do it, right? I know that Benjamin is consistent on social media, on LinkedIn. And that's how he gets these $100,000 jobs, is by being consistent. And not only being consistent there, he's also going out there and building relationships, and then he's getting the networking off of the LinkedIn. So then you get that one, and he's gotten like 4 other jobs off of the one big job. And so when you're consistent and you're posting on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn isn't something that you're going to get jobs this week. it's going to take you at least a year before you start seeing the fruits of your labor on LinkedIn. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And so you got to be consistent in whatever you do. I see so many people get this, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and they're never consistent in whatever they are doing. And when you're not consistent, you're not going to make money. It's just a guarantee. I got a guy that he's all over the place. He's in my mentorship. And I'm like, pick one thing and do it well. And so he put up 300 yard signs. He's like, I'm going to go put up 300 yard signs in 1 month. Well, was he consistent in it? Nope. It took him 2 months to put up 300 yard signs. But you want to know what happened when he put up 300 yard signs in the last 2 months? He made $18,000. $18,000 off of 300 yard signs. 300 yard signs cost you less than $1,000 and made $18,000. And that's not all the referrals you might get off of it, all the Google reviews off of it. That's not doing any of that stuff, right? Because when we go and get our reviews, that's going to get us more jobs. So off that $18,000 worth of yard signs, he could make $100,000 because then they're going to give a review. You're going to try to work on your referrals. You're going to do all of these things. And guess what? That's how you are consistent. Now, next month, you're not going to not put out yard signs, right? Next month, you're going to put out another 200. And the next month, you're going to put out another 200. And the next month, you're going to put out another 200. And the next month, you're going to put out another 200. And that's how you grow and scale. And when you want to do something else, you don't stop what works. If yard sign is still working, you don't be like, hey, I want to go do Google ads because Tristan said that works for him. And I'm going to go do LinkedIn and because somebody else said, Jason said that works. No, you got to keep doing what you know that works. When, I will tell you, you throw mud on the wall, right? And you want to see what sticks. Does yard sign stick? Does Facebook stick? Does social media work? Does the Google My Business stick? And when you find out what sticks, then you make a whole wall out of that stuff and you keep it going. You don't stop it. You just keep going over and over and over. And when you go to scale, you don't stop what works. That's what I see so many people. I talk about people like David Hamill. I haven't seen him on here. He does $1.5 million in a pressure washing business, and he buys thousands of yard signs at a time, and he puts out 2,000 to 3,000 yard signs a month, or not a month, a year. 2,000 to 3,000 a year. You got Mr. Wesley Bloom. Does almost $3 million or $3.5 million. I don't know what he did, but he did a lot. I know his goal last year was $3.5 million. That was $2.8 million in pressure washing and $800,000 in what? In Christmas lights. And so that was his goal. And so he bought 3,000 signs. 3,000 signs. That's what it's about, being consistent. Does he do Google ads? Yes, he does. Does he do SEO? Yes, he does. Does he do Facebook? Yes, he does. Why does he do it all? Because that's what gets you to $3.5 million. Is it easy? No. Never said it was. Running a business is not easy. If someone tells you that running a business is easy, they are flat lying to you. Period. Because it's hard and you got to do hard things and you're going to do things that you don't know what you do and you don't going to do things that you don't like doing, and you got to be consistent at doing those things that you don't like doing, because guess what? That's what's going to grow your business. And when you grow your business, then you can start hiring it out. And then you go back to the buy back your time book, right? Buy back your time book. I don't know where my buy back my time book is, but buy back your time, right? So that way, if that sucky thing that you hate doing, but you got to keep doing, guess what? You got to keep doing it. And so that is what I'm talking about. It's really hard running a business. I never said it was easy. Running a business isn't about pressure washing or Christmas lights or whatever. That's the easy part. Doing the pressure washing is the easy part. I used to teach 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds. I've got 17, 16. I let my 8-year-old daughter way back when do pressure washing. She sprayed the water bleach on the house and rinsed it off. At 8 years old, I can teach anybody to wash a house, but run a business is a completely thing, because running a business is, are you taking care of your employees? Are you doing all the things? Do you got all the insurances? Do you got a CRM? Are you getting your billing in? Are you doing your taxes? Are you doing the marketing? Are you doing all the 50 hats that you got to put on? And hopefully start giving away hats to other people so that way you can grow and scale. Now, if you want to make $100,000 and be by yourself and be the most profitable, you can make $200,000. DJ has gotten there. He does have his dad answering the phone. And so that's pretty much all that he has to, and he's done more than he did last year. And last year he did over 160,000 in pressure washing. So that tells me he's over 160,000, and we are only in August. And so you can, that's what I'm talking about. You can make $200,000. Now, is it year one for DJ? No, it's not year for one. It's year 4 for him, year 4 or 5 for him. So it has taken him a little bit longer to get there, but he's getting there, and it's what you got to do. And if you want to fast track things, you got to be consistent, because he's never been consistent in anything. If he'd have been consistent in yard signs, guess what? He would probably be way more. If he was consistent in, putting a lot into AdWords and that, he'd be a lot more. If he was consistent in doing Facebook, I got Bobby Duncan. He's only been in this business 2 or 3 years, and he does social media. He got his following to 5,000 friends, and he posts 4 to 5, 6, 8, 10 times a day doing Facebook lives and Facebook posts and doing reels and doing whatever else is on Facebook, but not spending a dime on ads. And he's going to do probably $250,000 this year. How? Because he's prolific and he's relentless and he's consistent about it. And when you're those 3 things, you will grow your pressure washing business. There's no secret sauce to this. I promise you, there is no secret sauce. You know what the secret sauce is? Get off your butt and go do it. I don't want to do that, Jason. I don't know how to do that, Jason. I'm not good at that, Jason. You know what? I got Rick Moosey in here that's in my membership, and he joined last year. And he was doing pretty well before he joined. He was making $150,000. And so when he joined the membership, started coming on every Monday night, guess what he did? First thing he did is he raised the prices, because I told him to raise his prices. And then guess what I did? I told him to go put the yard signs out. And he's one that I usually make fun of him because I don't know how to do technology. And technology is, I just can't figure this technology stuff out. I'd be way ahead if I didn't have this technology. Well, I want to tell you something. He was prolific. He went out and he put on the yard signs what I told him to put yard signs. Had he did the yard signs the years before? Yes. But he went like everybody else and put 57 things on a yard sign. Guess what? Didn't do no good. He got smart, did what I told him. Last year he did $300,000 in I think he did 300,000 right around that $300,000 mark for pressure washing alone. And guess what? He did less jobs than he did the year before. He made $150,000. Last year he did $300,000. He did less jobs than he did to make $150,000. Why? Because it takes the same amount of work to make $150,000 as it does $300,000. It takes the same amount of work to go for a $300 job as a $3,000 job. But a lot of times our mindset won't allow us to go and we're too scared to figure out what we need to do to be able to get to that $3,000 job. And we sit there and we haul around on a $200 job that's going to be our biggest pain in the butt customer that don't want to pay, that will come up with 57 issues, will give you a 1-star review because they're so petty, because we're chasing after the $200 job and not chasing after the $300 or $3,000 job. And we all do this. It's what we do. And so it's something that we got to move on and keep us moving forward. like I said, Benjamin Gregory, I don't know if he's still on here now. He did a $175,000 job. He would have never believed in himself to do a $175,000 job, but he took a risk and he did it. And it was a big risk. A lot of people could have failed on that one, and he about failed on it, right? Because it took a long time to get paid, way longer than he thought it would have taken to get paid. But he did it, and guess what? Now he's getting commercial job after commercial job after commercial job after commercial job, and everybody's like, "Oh, Benjamin, how are you doing that?" You know how he's doing it? He's being consistent and he's being relentless. Guess what? When you're those two things, nobody's going to stop you. He's got a dream that's bigger than anybody can ever believe, than most people would even believe. And when you got a dream that you can believe, when I showed that picture of his truck, he's like, I cried on that. Why? Because he's come a long way. He had a dream back then, and there was people that didn't believe in him now. And now people are like, oh, but this is something that you got to go out there. How did he get there? He was on LinkedIn, and he posted on LinkedIn and Facebook 3 times a week, at least, for almost a year to 2 years before it really started taking off. All of a sudden, it started taking off, and it's blown up on him in the last 2 to 3 years. The last 2 to 3 years, he's just skyrocketed. Why? Because he's been relentless. He was relentless for 2 to 3 years, posting on Facebook and there, and he was commenting on LinkedIn. If you want to know the secret sauce for LinkedIn, it's not all comment or link. It's not about posting 5 times a day. It's about commenting 10 times a day. Commenting on other people's stuff, not other pressure washers, not people that is your customer. You go and comment 5 times a day on different people, and you start conversations, and that is how you grow on LinkedIn. That is how you succeed on LinkedIn. So that is what you got to do. And it doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. This is not easy. I promise you. It is not easy. Business is not easy. If people telling you that you can do this is easy, they're lying to you, because it's not easy. I promise you. If you think this is easy, you're probably going to fail, because there's a lot of things. And here's the thing about entrepreneurship. One day you're on a mountain, the next day all the crap hits. And I've seen it over and over and over. There ain't nobody that you're at the bottom. Your trucks are broke down. Your pressure washer blew up. Your hoses blew up. I had 2 trucks go down in the same day. 2 out of my 4. And the third one was on its last leg. So I was like praying to God it didn't break down. One had a transmission go out of it. That's a nice one, right? That's a nice one when you got to pay for a transmission. That sucks. So just go out there, be consistent, be relentless, and go after it. You guys are awesome. You can do amazing things. Every one of you on this live or on this replay can do amazing things. I'm just telling you, you can do amazing things. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments, either on this live stream or after, and I will answer your questions. I got to get a drink here, and I'll answer your questions right now. Look at my little mug here. I got me a King of Pressure washing mug. All right, let's see here. Hello, everyone. Gabriel. How are you doing, Gabriel? Du is very teachable. He learns quickly and does a great job. I had my first church flat work job 2 weeks ago and went home with $2,100. My biggest individual job, I'm only 10 months into starting. And here's the other thing. Make sure you're celebrating your wins, because that's a huge win. Celebrate your wins, because a lot of times we set goals and we break those goals and we don't celebrate our wins. And so if we want to see how far we've come, to see how far we go, a lot of times we're like, I want to hit 2 million, or I want to hit 1 million. And we get to $800,000 and we complain about the $200,000 that we didn't get to, versus look how far I came, right? Look where I've come from. Look what I've learned in the last 12 months. Look what I've been able to do. You know, I've been able to help people for pressure washing, right? Jeremy Main was a pressure washing. He started his business. He was a garbage man and he could barely talk. He's got crazy eyes like I do. And so he has grown so much in the last 4 or 5 years. He has went out there. He keeps learning, keeps growing, went to burn off, spent a bunch of money on burn off. And guess what? He speaks into him. Now he's going and getting big deals also. Why? Because he believes in himself and he has vision. And you got to have the vision and believe in also. So a $2,100, that's awesome. That really is. That's a, build a new setup here soon and build your customer base and competition to yourself. We are ARH Soft Washing Services. We're a new company. First 3 jobs. Average 883 in South Florida. That's awesome. Consistent will make constant net business for us. Slack a little bit, staying on top of things and charging the business hype this man Jason up. 100%. Business takes 1 to 5 years to see returns and growth. This will vary to everyone and time that put in. No one will know who you are to your business unless you work for it and take years. Yep. I am struggling with that F-bomb. I'm a couple months in and I want to be busy, but I'm not. So this is what you got to be. If you're not busy doing pressure washing, you got to be knocking on doors. You got to be calling people. You got to be Facebook living. You got to be Facebooking. These are the things you have to do. You have to market like no other. If you're not going out doing jobs, you've got to market. You've got to do the marketing. You got to be putting out yard signs. You got to be doing, and if you don't have money to put out yard signs, you better be posting 5, 6, 8, 10 times a day on Facebook. You better be posting once on LinkedIn. You better be commenting 5, 10 times on LinkedIn. You better be linking to people on LinkedIn. That's what you got to do when you're not busy, and that will help speed up the growth for that. I'm putting up 100 yard signs tonight. Should have put them up Friday, but I know how important consistency is. And even if you don't put up, sometimes people put up 100 and they all get taken down. So even if you can do 50, 25, 50, whatever, be consistent every week. Because if you're going to put up 100 this week, that means you need to put up 100 next week, 100 the following week, and that. If you ain't got the plans to do those next one, I would probably put up 50 this week, put up 50 next week. And that way you can be consistent every week that you're putting up 50 yard signs. It's really hard running a business and working 4 on, 4 off job. Yep. I'm taking the slow route to get pieces and parts I need as I learn and grow. I want to pace myself and not get in over my head and hit the eject button like the $99 every season. I'm a nobody and I still make $250,000 as a solo disabled veteran. And I work less than I do. Half of what most other businesses is built on value. That comes at a price tag. I know I'm not as cheap. Mr. Big Time in the house. Mr. Brian Fletcher. Way to go, Rick Moosey. Rick is awesome. If you're not in on the Monday Night Lives when he's giving it, it's pretty comical. I need to learn LinkedIn better. You know how you learn to do it? Be consistent. Do it every day. You'll learn it. Alex Mosey says do 100 things 100 days in a row and you'll become better and an expert. And it is true. Me too. Benjamin Gregory, just planting seeds. I will do amazing things. Every one of you will do amazing things. Thank you for your motivation tonight. I'm down bad this year. Worst year I've had in 14 years. Well, that's not good. Are you using your personal on LinkedIn or a business profile. You are using your personal, because LinkedIn is people to people. I'm betting business profile. Yeah. No, it is not the business profile. It is the personal profile. If you do it on there, you won't get it. Can't hear you over the music. What music are y'all talking about? You still got music? Oh, I didn't have no music. If you want to promote your business, then build a business profile. This shows customers you're a business person. Profile just means you're a cheap handyman, not that. Not on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about the personal brand. I work 4 on 4 off besides this job. Blessed beyond belief. 4 months in to full time after leaving a medical sales career for good. First 4 months, we've done over $70,000 in revenue. Say this to show it's definitely possible. You want to know something else about Kingdom Pro Wash? He was the one that I had built a rig long time ago. He actually was in, where was you at? You were up in Wisconsin or up north, and then he moved down south. That's awesome. $70,000 in revenue. Wow. There's only 3 things that stop me: death, jail, and hell. We put out yard signs Thursday night starting at 9 until 6 a.m. in the morning. There's no traffic. And you want to know where the best place to put yard signs at? I'll tell you the best place to put yard signs. The hairiest place that you about get hit, that's the best place to put yard signs, because they won't get pulled there. But don't get hit. Yes, you have music playing for a bit. I don't know where it was playing. Do you have any advice on how to find HOA or POA members if their neighborhoods do not have a community office? So a lot of these guys are ran by larger companies. So the larger company around here is Town Properties. So Town Properties actually they're a larger, so a lot of these HOAs will be contracted out through these, through Town Properties. And so what you got to do is find that person in Town Properties to be able to go in there and find those properties, and that's how you're able to do that. How are you guys getting leads best? Yard signs, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Ads. Another one that I haven't talked about tonight is this right here works really good. If you're not working on your Google reviews, you should. Google reviews are going to help you a lot. I know this is my Christmas light card, but Google reviews are definitely going to help you get a lot. And you got to make it easy, right? You got to make it a referral card, right? Because then we can get other business. But how are you asking for your reviews? Are you just being like, here, if you got time, will you give me a review and let them go? That's not how you ask for a review, right? You got to beg, borrow, get on your knees, whatever you need to do to get these reviews, because reviews are very important. Because what you'll find out is once you start getting reviews in a certain area, you'll get more jobs in that area. That's just how reviews work. My advice is never get comfortable and never put all your eggs in one company. Lesson learned and growing back. Yeah, because if I remember right, you had one company that you were doing a lot, and that is so true. Don't put all your eggs in yard signs, right? Because I know people that put all their eggs in yard signs, and you start getting fined. Yard signs don't work no more. And if that's the only way you've been getting business, that's a problem. Or maybe you put all your eggs in your Google My Business. This thing gets suspended, you're screwed, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And you got to keep marketing. There is no easy button. You can get comfortable, and you've been comfortable for a long time, like probably 10 years. And so when you get comfortable, guess what? something happens, it gets pulled out from underneath of you. Then you're starting down from the bottom again. So I agree with that 100%. But you can do it. You know how to get business. Awesome sauce for Mr. Kingdom Pro Wash. How long did it take you to start getting calls after yard signs? Days, literally same day. And here's the thing: the reason why I say don't put all your yard signs, if you got 100, like the one guy said he's gonna put out 100, I'd rather stagger them, because a lot of times what you'll find out is there'll be weeks that you're gonna put 50 yard signs out and you won't get a call, but then there'll be weeks when you put 50 yard signs out, you'll get 10 calls, and so that's why the consistency is so important. That you are consistently putting out yard signs, because if you just put out 100 all in one time and nobody's doing anything that week, you've just lost 100 yard signs. You just lost $300. But if you put out 50 this week and 50 next week and the 50 the following week and the 50 the following week, then I will about guarantee you people will start seeing your yard signs and they will start calling you. That's how they work. How do you set up an LLC, and what is the registered agent? Also, what do you do for business bank accounts? You asked a lot of questions. So, your LLC is through the state secretary. You just go to the Secretary of State, and you'll fill out the paperwork. You'll just fill out the paperwork for starting an LLC. It's pretty easy. You'll need to go to the IRS and get your EIN number. Your EIN number is like your Social Security number for your business, and that's how you got to do that. Something for everybody else, whether you're starting a business this year or you're in a business, you need to do your it's like what is it called? It's the financial benefits. It is something that everybody has to do. And I'm going to just see if I can find it here. Starting a business, financial, to make sure you're not fraud. There it is. I couldn't remember. Let me make sure that is it. That isn't it either. Shoot. Now I don't know what it is. I'll pull it up here because I do know where I can find it here. That way, this is something that even if you've been in business for a long time, you do have to fill this out this year by 2025. Just so you know, but I will show you this here. It'll take me a minute to pull it up here. But this is something that you do have to fill out, and I can't remember the exact what it's called. So that's why I'm make sure that I get the right thing. Marketing lights. Actually, I'll pull this up because that question you just asked me, this all answers those questions here. I'll just kind of go through this here real quick because this answers every question that you just asked. Okay, if it'll come up here, slideshow. This is my in-person training. If you want to come to my in-person training, I am having one coming up in March or in August, September. This is it. So what you need to do here is you need to go here to the IRS and get your EIN number. This is where you will get your EIN number. From there, you got to go over to your Secretary of State, and it'll tell you where your business is located. You'll have to get all of this kind of stuff. This is what everybody has to do. This is called the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So it's the FCENC, Beneficial Ownership Information Reporting. So you will have to go here. Everybody has to fill this out by 2025, I believe it is. I haven't actually looked at it here lately, but it is something that everybody has to fill out. You do need to do this, whether you've been in business for 3 months or you've been in business for 25 years. This is something that, like, my CPA just sent it to me this past week that I had to fill this information out. And so everybody has to fill this out. It's like a $500 fine every day once it hits 2025, I believe. So make sure that if you're listening to me that you fill this out, because it is something that you need to fill out, just so you know. If you didn't learn nothing else, that's something that you needed to learn, and it will help you, I promise you. Um, and for your bank accounts, I would tell you to read Profit First. Profit First talks about the 5 different bank accounts that you have. And I highly recommend that book, even for a beginner or even for someone that's been in a long time. Because I've had people make $250,000 and then they come and tell me in April that they owe $25,000 or $30,000 in taxes, and they're like, I ain't got that money. And so Profit First keeps you from doing that. And so Profit First is very important that you understand that. What's up from Louisville Pro Window Cleaning? Awesome. Radio ads has been a big success for my business. What radio are you on? A country? Are you on a talk show? What radio has been the best for you? What is something to hand out at a home show in Chattanooga the first weekend in October? I would probably do like a trifold of like talking about the pressure washing services, or I would do Christmas lights. I would possibly do Christmas lights. Christmas lights is probably, I would have a booth all about Christmas lights, because you're probably going to get more people for that. And it's Christmas light season. And so I would put Christmas lights everywhere, and I would have a Christmas light booth. I would dress up as Santa. I would put the Santa coat on. I would go all out is what I would do, Brian. I would go all in on Christmas lights. It depends on how many yard signs you put out, where you plant them, sometimes several days, other times a week or two. Yard signs, you have to watch out and weed out the cheap price shoppers is one of the bad things. Well, that can be on anything. Oh, the fence in. Yeah. Um, yes, that is correct. If I can get this to work. Yep. So everybody does have to fill this out, just so you know. This isn't something that is not, you do have to fill this out. I've invested $35,000 on buying a skid, having a hard time getting leads, trying more door to door. And here's my thing. I've said this over and over and over. And if you're just now finding me, don't go buy a $35,000 rig unless you're planning on spending $35,000 in marketing. Because the people that I know that go buy $35,000 rigs usually don't make it, because I had a guy that spent $25,000 on a rig, and I asked him how much he spent in marketing. And he's like, nothing. And he ended up selling it because he went out of business. And so you've got to market. If you spend $35,000 on a rig, you better be spending $35,000 on marketing. And if you spend $35,000 on marketing, you would probably make $350,000, because that's 10%. That's how it works. Now, you can put $35,000 in a rig, and you're not going to get a 10%. You're not going to get your return back on it, because you got to do marketing. And it's not easy. And again, I know these guys build rigs that make it sound easy. And you just go out there and spray this stuff on, and it just falls off, and it doesn't work that way. I promise you. Maybe for a few, but most people, it doesn't work that way. It's called a BOI, I believe. Beneficial ownership form. And yes, that is it. And you do have to fill it out, just so you know. You started out the hard way. Now you have to pay debt or lose it. Customer base needs to be 2 times of your cost and equipment to be efficient to stay ahead. If not, you're fighting work. Great book. In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day. Nice. Who wrote that book? I want to see what that book is, because that sounds like a great book. In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day. How to Survive and Thrive When Opportunity Roars by Mark Baderson. Nice. Thank you. I'll listen to that. Well, hello, buddy. How's Mr. Little Barry Little doing? Just so you know, he's little. not just his name. Sorry, I'm a giant to him. A 98.3 W covers four counties. Nice. Gabriel Courts, bro, can't wait to see you once again at the Huge in a month. Lots of newer equipment going up for sale. Had a couple call me to buy theirs. Yeah, and I agree. I agree. Unfortunately, that's what people do. Uh, and Benjamin Gregley, and hopefully you make it again, Jason. I will not be there this year. I'm not going to make it. I'm actually teaching a class in, where am I teaching? Utah. So anybody wants to learn Christmas lights in Utah, that's where I'll be at. All my equipment is paid for. My truck is also paid for. I have less, no overhead, and able to keep profits higher and savings for lower repair. Um, I am on the verge of starting Google local service ads, but I'm unsure of the returns. Would you recommend them? Yes, actually, I was trying to talk about those earlier. I would do Google local service ads. Some people, they work amazing, and some people don't get a phone call. And so there's things that you got to do, but like I said, some people get lots of phone calls off them. Other people don't get any phone calls off of them. So it is one of those things that you just kind of you're gonna do your budget at like 5 grand a week. I know that sounds like a lot, but you're not gonna spend 5 grand a week. I promise you. The most person I know that spends the most a month is about $2,500 a month on him, but it's a phone call, and he pays $40 to $50 per phone call. So if you close 50%, that means every other phone call should be a job. So the steps are for what? I don't understand what the steps are. What do you mean? I know you put something here. So back to you. Um, so the other thing too is to do the 5 bank accounts. Um, you'll need to do your 5 bank accounts basically, or at least four. Nextdoor is another way to get leads. It is. I got leads on Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a lot like Facebook groups. Facebook groups is another way to get leads. I didn't talk about that. And the best place, especially since you're a female, is in the mom groups. The mom groups are your money groups. Get in the mom groups. Don't be like, I do pressure washing. You go in those mom groups, you build relationships, and you're like, oh, look who washed my house. They did an amazing job. They're the best. Had amazing customer service, and they were awesome, right? And you can do that every other week or every couple weeks, and most people aren't going to remember that you did it 2 weeks ago. And so that's how you can promote your own business and help you grow in the mom groups. And mom groups are your money groups. If you didn't know that, Facebook groups, just buy here, sell now, they suck. The mom groups are your power groups in pressure washing and Christmas lights. Should I offer a half price driveway, sidewalk, and front porch to start my business? No, you should not. Just go out there, put out the yard signs, and charge full price and learn how to sell. You're probably going to be bad at first, but you'll get better. Catch me if you can. Can I? Catch me if you can. I'm the gingerbread man. So, what steps are the EIN, LLC, FinBank bank accounts? So, you need to do the EIN to do the LLC. The FinCEN, you kind of got a little bit of time on that. You got 30 days to do that, I think. And then the bank accounts. You can't get your bank accounts till you get the EIN and the LLC, because otherwise they're not going to allow you to do that. So you got to get the EIN. I believe you got to get the EIN first before you can do the LLC, because you need your EIN number to put on the LLC form. But whatever you name the business, you got to make sure the name of the business is all the way through of whatever it is. So, and naming the business can be something that you need to make sure. Build your business on professionalism, reliability, and trust. And you can do $70,000 like he did in 3 months. I do Google service ads, Facebook ads very so often, free marketplace on there. Those are my three. When you start on pricing is where you end up. Remember that. Don't ever go cheap. And this is so true. 100% truth right here. Because when you start cheap, you'll never raise your prices because you'll get a mindset that nobody will pay that. And so that's why I don't tell people to go cheap. Going cheap is not good at all. Now, if you're going to go cheap, I'm going to tell you to go free. Go find the biggest freaking house that you can do and go do it for marketing purposes. And I don't even want that house to be dirty. I don't want it bad, nasty, dirty. I want to show people that, hey, look at this house that I'm cleaning. I've got these people and I've cleaned that. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put a yard sign. And I want to be on a corner of a busy street and I'm going to put a big old yard sign in their yard, right? If you're going to do something free, that's what you want to do. Now, what some ways you can do that is maybe it's a stay-at-home mom, or maybe she has cancer or something along those lines. What's the best man do you have on a one-on-one program? So the one-on-one is my mentorship, which is a little expensive, but I would just tell you the membership would be great too, because every Monday night you get a Zoom call, and I help a lot of people out there. So you can go kingofpressurewash.com and find out more about it there. You also get to get and it also comes with as long as you're a member of it, you get a free a template website by joining this too, which can help you get other business too. You also got to get your license for whatever city or state you're in, and this is true. I never did a lot, but I only got caught once. But you're supposed to get a license. You're supposed to get a city. You're supposed to get a license in every city that you work in. Every city that you work in, you're supposed to get a license for. So what's the name? kingofpressurewash.com. He is the king like Elvis. That's the name. Biggest problem is a lot of people don't take their business serious or themselves, and that will make them fail. Honestly, I think the biggest problem is they don't believe in themselves, and they think that it's easy, and this is not easy. It is hard work, and it takes a lot of work. What day of the week is the best day to send EDDM? Honestly, it's testing. I like to the problem of it is you really want it to land in the mailbox on Friday or Saturday when they're thinking about this stuff. That's the best time to get it to land. But just because you take it to on Thursday doesn't mean it's going to go out on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Just because you take it on Wednesday doesn't mean it's going to go out those next 2 days. Because they can do it whenever they want. But the best time to get that EDDM is on Friday or Saturday, when they're actually thinking about it, of seeing that mailer when they're thinking of the to-do list. I got a call from a customer, and they told me the previous guy gave him a quote to do the house for $400. Too cheap, they said. I said $750, and they said, yes, that's perfect. Trust. UZ Marketing raised their prices on signs. I like their service, but anyone know a potential company or for signs? Your bill collectors don't care about your pride or how fancy your rig is. Nope. So I have the website, the shirts, the script, ads, etc., but I can't get anyone to get it. Could you rate my website? Not tonight. I'm out of time. 10:03. But I can. Just send me a Facebook message. Again, if you join King of Pressure Wash, I'll do it tomorrow night on the Zoom call. If not, that's about what I've got. So with that, again, King of Pressure Wash. The other thing too is we do have a training coming up in September. It's going to be with Jeremy Main. Jeremy Main is the garbage man that started out as a garbage man, and he made it all the way to he'll do over $1 million this year. And so Jeremy is an awesome guy. He is one that he has grown so much. And so we'll be doing it at his shop. We'll be doing pressure washing and Christmas lights up there. It is an amazing class. There might be an ice bath challenge. He's all into the ice bath challenge. So we may have to do an ice bath challenge. I've never done one, so you might get to witness me doing an ice bath while I'm up there. We'll definitely be riding around on his boat on the lake. It'll be a great training. He has 3 or 4 trucks. It is definitely something that you will want to miss. We are doing pressure washing and Christmas lights, or if you just want to do pressure washing, you can go to KPW Train. It'll take you to the page to see that. Book a call. I don't have the link up. I'll have to see if I can find the link. I don't know what the link is on that. I see. I like to see what you think about my website. We'll put it on there next time. Good night, Jason. Don't forget to matter where you go. Don't forget, no matter where you go, go there. There you are. Damn. What the? Now everybody's starting to put stuff on here. Uh, Damn, I'd do the ice bath. Yeah, I've never done one, but I hope you all have a great night, great weekend, and or great week, and we'll see you all later.